The first televised presidential debate of United States. In 1950, John F. Kennedy walked to Richard Nixon and gave him 1000 US dollars for his US Senate campaign against Congresswoman Helen Gahagan Douglas. This donation was sent to Nixon by John F. Kennedy's father, Joseph Kennedy, as he liked Nixon's anti communist fervor. The two men did not know how they would be facing each other 9 years later in the first televised presidential debate in US history. That night would also change the course of American history. The presidential debate on television was broadcast live on September 26, 1960. It was the first televised debate between two presidential candidates, that is, John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon. Ahead of the TV debate, Kennedy asked Nixon not to reveal their 1950 interaction in public. Nixon kept his promise. Kennedy was prepared to face the camera and the lights. In contrast, the cameras were harsh on Nixon. Kennedy's speechwriter helped him go through a pile of note cards, and he even quizzed Kennedy on possible questions while he was tanning on a hotel terrace. Nixon was sweating under the hot studio lights. He was sick and underweight and back from the hospital. Kennedy was confident and composed. The appearances mattered. Americans who listened to the debate on radio believed Nixon had won, but those who watched it live on TV gave it to Kennedy. It was 1960, and by then, around 88% of American households had a television set. The impact of television and televised debates would not be limited to the election of 1960. Such was the turn of fortunes that it scared off presidential candidates from TV debates. No televised presidential debate would take place for the next four elections, that is, for 16 years. Nixon himself refused to get in front of the harsh lights in 1968 and 1972. The televised debates finally re-emerged in 1976 when the President Gerald Ford decided to come face to face with his Democratic opponent Jimmy Carter. Thank you for listening.